Well, welcome to the June 18th Select Board meeting. Please note that in accordance with the emergency orders announced by Governor Charlie Baker to protect public health during the COVID-19 outbreak, the Select Board meeting will not be open to the public for physical attendance, and the Select Board members are calling in via Zoom conference. The meeting is being live streamed and cable broadcast by Easton Community Access Television, Comcast 98, Verizon 23, and on ECAT's website, www.eastoncat.org. If you're watching this at home and you have a question or comment, please email Michael Blanchard, mblanchard@easton.ma.us, or pose your question on the Q&A feature of the Zoom portal. Please remember to include your name and address for our minutes. Just do a quick roll call so that we can establish a quorum.
Greg Barger.
Charles King.
Mark Lamb.
And Dottie Fulginiti. Well, thank you everyone for making time out of your busy day. As you know, we've been trying to, we set up a task force to help with the reopening of our restaurants in particular. And the administrative staff is doing a fantastic job of getting that going, and driving through town to be able to see some of the places that have the outdoor dining now is really pretty exciting. And it says a lot about the staff on how well they've pulled things together to be able to make that happen. So I want to thank Michael and his leadership for that. And then just get right into this review that we have regarding the licensing agreement for using public parking spaces on Main Street by the Farmer's Daughter. Michael, if you want to give us a little background on this.
Of course, and I'll keep an eye on the attendee list. Representatives of the Farmer's Daughter were going to try to join, but I don't see them on yet. So trying to be brief, as Dottie mentioned, the Select Board had passed the temporary outdoor dining policy, which we've been implementing. Farmer's Daughter is a little different in that they've submitted 2 requests for outdoor seating. One expands their existing sidewalk seating, and that fell under the policy you adopted. So it only required administrative approval. It was reviewed by the appropriate departments, and we were able to grant that expansion. Their second request was a little different. That's why it's coming before the Select Board, is that they're looking to take over 3 of the parking spaces in front of their restaurant on Main Street, install jersey barriers, and utilize that space for additional outdoor dining. That requires a license agreement with the Select Board. So in your packet, you'll see a sample or draft license agreement that was reviewed with and approved by Town Council. A copy was also sent to the Farmer's Daughter ahead of time as well, so they could review it. And there's also a sketch or a plan of what they intend to do with those 3 spaces. So what we're asking for today is for the board to consider approving the license agreement, and to authorize the town administrator to execute and manage the agreement on your behalf. And that is similar to what was done with the currently in place sidewalk agreement that the Farmer's Daughter has. And again, because the town administrator can manage it, we were able to just extend that administratively, and this would allow that opportunity as well. The plan was reviewed by all the appropriate departments: DPW, fire, building, planning, police department. There were some comments, and the Farmer's Daughter has agreed to make some changes by adding some additional jersey barriers, but everyone is on board, is approved, and before you tonight with our recommendation for you to do the same.
And this did not it didn't take up any of the handicap parking spots, right?
That's correct. Yep, correct.
Okay. Does anyone have
Yeah, we had this response to the questions that we had. You know, I don't know if it was last meeting or the meeting before that, where we had a conversation about those who didn't have a lot of parking spaces or parking lot to be able to do outside dining. And it's kind of exciting that that they come up with this plan, and that we are considering the opportunity for them to take some public space to help them open up their dining.
Were there any objections? Are there any other dining companies there that are right there also that might compete for those spaces otherwise?
So there is one other restaurant. So as you're looking at the Farmer's Daughter to the right-hand side. However, these spaces are to the left of the Farmer's Daughter. So the hope is that it wouldn't be as impactful. It's not directly in front of that other restaurant.
Okay,
I do have a question regarding liability, and it might have been answered with if the fire, DPW, all these inspectors have approved it. I'm guessing that it has been considered, but for my own edification, they're putting Jersey barriers out there. My only concern is obviously safety. That's like really it. I want these businesses to have the outdoor seating. I want to support it, promote it, all that great stuff. If, God forbid, an accident were to occur, where would the liability be? On the restaurant owner?
Yep, so the part of this
Okay.
agreement, not only is it a license agreement, but it also includes indemnification agreement as well.
Perfect.
And so they do take responsibility for liability. We do require certain insurance policy limits and levels in having the town on that policy as well.
Excellent. That I think all the T's have been crossed and the I's have been hit, and I'm good to go.
Okay. With that, I would entertain a motion to enter in, the motion will be to authorize Connor to execute and administer the licensing agreement. Is that right, Michael?
Yeah, so I think the full recommendation motion would be to approve the license indemnification agreement for use of public parking spaces on Main Street by the Farmer's Daughter LLC, 122 Main Street, Easton, Mass., and to authorize the town administrator to execute and manage the agreement on the board's behalf.
All right,
So
all
moved.
in one vote.
Right.
All in one vote, or is it two votes?
That's one vote, yeah.
Okay. And Chuck made the motion. Do I get a second?
Craig Barger, second.
Okay, and a roll call vote, please.
Barger, yes.
King, yes.
Lamb, yes.
Fulginiti, yes. Great. Thank you, everyone. And if there's no other business, I would take a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Craig Barger.
Second, King.
And roll call vote.
Barger, yes.
King, yes.
Lamb, yes.
Fulginiti, yes. Great. Thank you, everyone. Have a good
Thank you all.
afternoon.
Good afternoon,
You too.
guys. See you later.
Bye.